Well, hello everybody. It's so good to see you and be seen, I suppose. This is going to be a fairly brief introduction to our course, Social and Nonprofit Marketing. So in this introduction, we will walk through some of the ideas about why the course, why we have this course, why it should be a great idea to take this course. And then also some very specific elements of the course that will help you better understand the learning environment and also the context in which the course has been developed and what you can expect as we progress through the course and finish up and learn about the whole very dynamic nature of social and nonprofit marketing. I look forward to giving you more information, and thank you for taking a look at this video and also enrolling in this course. It's fantastic to have you on board. The first thing that I'd really like to do is give a big shout out and welcome you. This is a fantastic having you in class. I'm very, very excited to get to know you, and I know that over the course of the next term here, you'll get to know the content extremely well. You'll get to know your classmates, even though this is in an online environment. You are super welcome, and I want to be able to create a classroom environment, a community of learning. And so please always feel free to reach out. And again, just in short, welcome. What we want to do to start with is just really be clear about the course, what this course's goals and objectives are. So just to put this into our learning environment in terms of what we want to accomplish, this course examines the principles of marketing, but as they relate to a mission-driven organization. These organizations are typically associated with or known as nonprofits, or ones that are social cause oriented or mission-driven. Marketing as a discipline represents a series of tools and skill sets and processes, basically, that help improve organizational performance. So nonprofits then are organizations, and we can apply marketing principles that you typically see in for-profit organizations to the nonprofit environment to help those nonprofits perform better. One of the challenges, though, or the challenges that we see with nonprofits is that they often have difficulty defining their markets or their clients. They also are known to have scarce resources, meaning that they don't necessarily have a lot of funding to begin with or manpower to begin with, and so those are challenges they have to overcome. Another aspect that we're going to look at a lot this semester is the intersection between for-profit and nonprofit organizations. A lot of for-profit organizations have begun to use social cause activities as part of their branding and their corporate social responsibility strategies. So that's an important feature that we want to think about here too, that we can think of social causes in the context of nonprofits, but then also in the context of for-profit organizations too. So as a result, there are a number of objectives that we want to accomplish as we move forward. We want to understand and identify goals and objectives of mission-driven organizations. We want to understand the specific marketing activities that nonprofits can use. So we want to understand the principles of marketing then. We want to understand the nuanced nature of consumers who use non-tangible products or services. So these would also often be maybe ideas or things of that nature. Again, we want to think about the marketing principles, this time though associated with branding and how nonprofits could brand. We want to think about the principles of cause-related marketing. So that would be, again, when a for-profit organization adopts a cause and uses that cause to help itself brand better. So from a for-profit perspective. And then we also want to understand and be able to clearly define the sources, the fundraising power, and the tactics that nonprofits can use to help overcome scarce resource issues that they have. So this in short then describes the reason why we are having this course, the purpose of the course, the validity and the value that this course offers, and some of the very specific objectives you will learn as a process of taking this course. So as we move forward, keep in mind that this is an online experience. So the content of the course will be delivered through videos online or PowerPoints kind of like this that you gather information from. But at the same time, you'll have a textbook, so you'll need to do a lot of reading in that case, or in that sense, where you'll learn the content through the text. And then we'll also have a number of real life application situations where we call them cases, where you learn about a real life situation and are able to apply what you learn from the text to the case that you read about and simulate. A lot of interaction should take place here. I hope that there'll certainly be interaction between you and I as the instructor, but also you'll have interaction from peer to peer as well as you get to know your classmates. We'll use discussion boards and things of that nature. And the goal here is to create a community of learning where this is the experience that you have. One other aspect that we'll be able to talk about at another time is that the learning experience that you have will include you going to volunteer experiences or going to volunteer and using your volunteer experience and reporting those experiences back to the classroom. So the different learning methods then are varied. Even though we're in an online environment, it should be fun and engaging for you in a lot of respects. Now, as we move forward, because this is in an online format, I want you to be very aware of and cognizant of the technical requirements that you're going to need to have in order to be successful in the course. We will use what's called Blackboard at SIUE. That's our learning management system, our LMS, or our learning environment. So this is online, an area where you will log in to Blackboard and you will access course material, all the course links, and you'll submit all of your work through the Blackboard learning environment. So that is one, if you're not familiar with Blackboard yet, that's something that you'll need to become familiar with. You'll also need to make sure that you have a webcam, an integrated webcam. We will use what's called Respondus Monitor during the term to be able to verify and confirm your exam participation. So tests and quizzes may be timed. The tests are for sure, and you may be asked to videotape your test taking environment and such. We'll also have virtual or online discussions. So there'll be a timed component where you discuss a topic with your classmates. Again, this is through Blackboard. And also be sure that you recognize that if you have technical problems, there will be people to help you through SIUE and our Information Technology Services area. So online on the SIUE website, be sure to locate and identify the ITS or Information Technology Services website so that if you have technical problems, you'll be able to get help from them. And actually, ITS is really responsive. You can email them or call them and they'll help you right away with technical issues. So that's a big resource for you. My help with technical issues is somewhat limited. I'll do my best if you're having a technical problem. However, I may also refer you to ITS if I cannot answer your problem right away. They're really the professionals on that end of things. Moving forward, you're going to obviously be aware of grades and how you're assessed for this course. Again, we'll have timed quizzes. Those will be due each week. So each week, each area where we have like a chapter of material, we'll cover a material chapter mostly each week. You'll have a quiz. Those will be due on Sunday by midnight. They're going to be short, limited quizzes that will involve maybe 10 to 15 questions. They're fairly low impact for you, but they help you relate the material that you just learned this week to what you're doing, and you'll be tested on that. There'll also be discussion boards or discussion questions. I call them DQs. There's a rubric that's involved with that, where you make an initial post regarding a topic that you're given, and then once you make an initial post, you're able to respond to your classmates' posts in a discussion forum. So these will always be due on Saturdays. So the last day, or in other words, the discussions will close on Saturdays at midnight. Your initial posts will always be due on Thursday by midnight, and your responses to classmates will have to be initiated by Friday at midnight, and that's for you to get full credit. Okay, so that's the process that's involved with that. There'll be assignments. So these will be mostly each week. There'll be actually 12 different assignments. Some of these assignments will be relating to the content directly from the course. Other assignments will be focused on experiences that you have in a volunteer environment. So you're going to be expected to do some volunteer work, and from that volunteer work with a not-for-profit, you'll be asked to fill out, do some assignments. Those will always be due on Fridays. And then we're going to have 4 different tests throughout the term. Those tests will be due on Wednesdays. They'll be timed, and again, they'll be monitored. So we'll have tests, assignments, discussions, and quizzes to make out the variety of activities and how you'll be graded throughout the term. Remember, quizzes are due on Sunday. Discussions are always closed and finished on Saturday, but they're started on Thursdays or earlier. Assignments are always due on Fridays, and tests, the 4 of them that we have, will be due on Wednesdays. So we'll keep those moving along throughout the semester, so that'll help you. As we move forward, we want to spend a little bit of time looking at and thinking about the aspect of volunteerism. Volunteering is going to be an integral part of this course. So one of the aspects of this course is for you to identify a nonprofit organization that you can spend time with and that you can volunteer at during the time that we have together over this course. The reason why we're doing this specifically is to create something we call experiential learning. So in an experiential learning environment, you're doing while you're actually learning simultaneously from a textbook and such, and applying what you're learning in a real life or semi-real life experience. So simulations and cases are examples of experiential learning, but in this case, what we're going to do is have you volunteer at a nonprofit organization of your choice throughout the term, and we're going to have some expectations of roughly 1 hour per week time spent with that organization. So the reasons why we do this is because the experiential learning model helps you understand and helps you reference the things you're learning in class in a much more real way It's a deeper type of learning that you're able to gain. Plus, it helps you learn faster when you're able to see and apply the principles that you're learning in class in a real life environment. So one of the requirements then that you have moving forward is to identify a nonprofit that you're interested in. It should be something that you have that maybe you're familiar with already. You very likely you may very well already be involved in a nonprofit. So it could be a religious organization or a social organization. It could be a political nonprofit. It could be, again, varying in range. The key here when you choose your nonprofit is it's something that you're interested in, but then also something that that's actively working with clients, has services that they offer, and also donors that they maybe solicit funds from. During the term, we'll anticipate that you should volunteer roughly 10 hours during the term, which would equate to, in this particular term, being an 8-week term, 1.5 hours per week on average. There'll be tying into your volunteer experience, there will be a series of homework assignments. So these are things that I refer to as field assignments because they refer to your work in the field, and they're reflections of the volunteer experience as they specifically relate to the content of the course and the material that we're covering. So the reflections then that you have, or the field assignments, will have to be reinforced by your experience in the nonprofit. If you're not working at the nonprofit, or if you're not participating actively, you're not going to have very much success in the field experiments, and it's certainly not going to be a very rich experience for you. So to wrap this up in terms of the volunteer aspect of what we'll be doing, you'll need to submit during the first week of class 2 documents. One is your volunteer form. The second is a general waiver and release form required by the university. So the volunteer form outlines and describes where you're going to volunteer. It also includes your supervisor name or a person's name there at the volunteer organization that I'll contact to verify and confirm that you're volunteering with them. The release form is a document by the university legal department, and what it is if something were to happen while you are off campus in the field, then the release form would release the university from liability and damages in case you were injured or an accident happened. Again, while you're in the field off campus and not under the protection of the university. So both of these 2 forms need to be filled out during week 1, and that's what we do, and that's the way we'll start this volunteer work. All right, so moving on and summarizing what we have to do in this course. Marketing plus non-for-profit. Remember that marketing is a business discipline, but it has a strong influence on nonprofits and the organization of a nonprofit. We want to be online, but don't forget we're going to be very active in this online course. It doesn't mean that you have to be alone. It doesn't mean that you're by yourself in a silo just learning. You're part of a class and you're part of a community. So this is going to be an important part of the learning experience, both in a volunteer environment, but also in the community of learning that you have in this course. Don't forget, because this is an online class, we don't see each other face to face or on a regular basis, but each week there'll be activities for you to do. There'll be reading, there'll be videos to watch, there'll be assignments to complete, quizzes to take, discussion questions, and also tests. So we'll want to be very, very aware of your timing and tasks. And then finally, let's think about what you need to do now and what we need to do next. So be sure to read the syllabus. understand what's going on. Right now, we'll have an opportunity for you to take an introduction quiz. The quiz helps you navigate Blackboard. It helps you become familiar with the quiz process, so that you'll be able to take the quizzes effectively. It tests your software and your technology needs. So read the syllabus, watch these videos, go ahead and take the introduction quiz, and welcome to this class. I'm very excited to have you here as a student and to be able to get to know you better.